It is Monday, January 17th, 2022. I am James. You are you. We are here for another breathtaking episode of the show that won't go away. Of course, we are talking about At Home with James, live on twitch.tv/At Home with James. How was your weekend? Did you spend it with someone that you cherish? I hope that you did, because I'll tell you what, I sure as heck didn't. I don't know if I'm the only one. These lockdown weekends, they're getting to me. I'm starting to get itchy. The underwear is starting to bunch up, and I can't take it anymore. But I'll tell you what, like they say in the province of Quebec, ça va bien aller. Ça va bien aller, aller, aller. Feeling hot, hot, hot. I like to do that song once in a while, right? I was doing that in 2020. I'm bringing it back now because what was cool in 2020 is cool again. 2022. The light at the end of the tunnel. Curfew is finally over. The first one, 5 months. Second one, 17 days. Anybody going to go out tonight? Hit the streets? I'm sure some type of freak has got some big party planned in the old port, maybe the corner of St. Catherine and Saint Laurent. I know what you freaks are going to be doing. Everyone's going to be handing out RJs and HJs and BJs. The only one I'm interested in is LJs, Long Johns, because it's very, very cold outside. But we are going to do what we can to warm you up. Allow this show to be the Yule log to your chilly evening. Get close as humanly possible and feel the warmth and glow of the comedy and conversation that is set to take place over the next 60 minutes or so. Who is going to be here tonight? If that's the question, I have the answer to that question. Now, if anyone was tuned in about 2 or 3 weeks ago to our New Year's Eve episode, you might remember that we had an in memoriam for people and guests that are no longer with us, that passed away in 2021. Now, one of those people was country music singer Dusty Ray Jr. Now, this is a guest that only appeared on this show once, but even though they're only here once, we don't want to kind of scrub them from the memory of this show. We want to honor their memory, but we're not the only ones that are going to be celebrating the memory and have celebrated the memory of Dusty Ray Jr. Tonight, joining us is actually the son of Dusty Ray Jr., the new lead singer of his father's band, Trailer Park Blues. Joining us tonight will be Dusty Ray Jr. as he takes over and fills in his father's footsteps, very large footsteps. That's much later on tonight. So we got some music coming up on At Home, and that's in our, the third segment of the evening. Also joining us tonight, you love her? You can't get enough of her. We're talking about downtown Alex Brown. Earlier today, I said, it's up to you. What are we talking about tonight? She said, well, I want to talk about soup. Here's the thing. We already talked about soup last time she was on. We get into the production call. She's saying, yeah, but the people loved it. They loved it. They loved the soup talk. And this is the thing they did. If there's one thing that people love on this show, it's food talk. So I bargained Alex Brown down to winter meals. Now, I don't know how interesting this is going to be, but what I do know is this. In my heart of hearts, if there's any guest that comes on this itsy bitsy program and can keep up with the type of fiery conversation that I like to provide, it's Alex Brown. She'll be live on this show wearing leather pants much later on. But we're going to kick things off with a real all-timer. Now, in 2020, this youngster is on the show every single month. 2021, I don't know what happened. Couldn't get a hold of this guy. He was busy. He was doing this. He was doing that. He was doing everything. He's finally gracing us with his presence for the first time in a long time. So let's please welcome to the show, the one and the only, live and in living color. It's Mr. Pat Gourdeau. Pat, welcome back. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Now, Pat, we didn't plan nothing going into this, right? And
you didn't plan anything. I have quite the busy schedule, James. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm not busy anymore, Pat. I got nothing. I was saying before the show went on the air, before everyone got in our production call, I said, I think this show might be the most important thing that I do.
Mm.
And that's as sad as it sounds, I think.
Mm.
Oh, are you moisturizing right now?
Sorry, James. I didn't know the show was going to be on this late, so I'm doing my skincare.
This is the first time anyone's ever moisturized on this show. Now, Pat, you strike me as a person that takes care of themselves. You've been on this show. You've made fun of my diet, not only on this show, but in IRL, as the kids like to say. Pat, take us through what some of your self-care rituals are.
Well, I like to use moisturizer.
Yeah, well, let's get some information on this. What is this moisturizer? We're giving some free publicity here. Now, what is this?
Yeah, I know. I didn't get it approved by the brand.
Yeah, the powers that be.
No, but I think they'll like the exposure of being on twitch.tv.com backslash at home with James. Now everyone can clearly see the label.
Yep. Well, clear is one way to put it.
So there you go. And I apply that, I would say, about 3 times a day.
All right. Now, is this a hydrating cream or non-hydrating?
It replenishes.
It replenishes. Now, I use a nightly cleanser. I talked about this on the show last week. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm currently getting over a pimple right here.
Right there. Yeah.
Right there. Now I talked about this a couple of days ago. Pat, where do you think the most embarrassing places to get a pimple are?
On the face or on the body?
Well, I was going to say face, but we can make it out the body, right? I'm not gonna be not inclusive about body zits.
Well, a friend once got like a zit / pimple right above their butt crack.
Right above the butt crack.
Yeah.
Now you said a friend.
Uh-huh.
What's his friend's name?
Patrice.
Patrice. I don't know if I know any Patrices. Patrice what?
Gourdeau.
Okay. So your friend Patrice Gourdeau.
Yeah, when we met, God, the crazy. You know when you're like, you have like a very similar name to mine.
Yeah. So you're saying that your friend Patrice Gourdeau one time got a pimple above their rear end.
And it lasted. It stayed there for quite some time or so.
But now, I don't know. We can't get Patrice on the air right now. What's a long time to have a butt crack zit?
I wouldn't say that he remembers. It was not that recently. I would say well over two weeks.
Okay, so a 2-week butt crack zit. Now, would you say? Look, we're just going to take a stab in the dark. Of course, this Patrice fellow is not here. Do you think Patrice is putting some cream above his butt crack these days?
No, he's not here. He died.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah, no, it's
all right. So
losing a friend. We're
gonna have to include Patrice in our yearly in memoriam at the end of this year.
The zit made it. The zit's alive, but Patrice is dead.
Well, okay, so we'll remember the good times. So you're saying maybe a butt crack, but I'd like to argue that you can conceal a butt crack zit pretty well, and I think if someone were to see it, if they know you, they probably wouldn't judge it.
Well, I think the way, I can't speak for Patrice, but I think maybe Patrice uses that. Anyway, it was more of a bother for Patrice than maybe it would be for you.
Yeah, like if we had to kind of take a stab in the dark here, it might be difficult if you're really up against like a chair, right? Ooh, like it could be tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't like to sit, but Patrice loves sitting.
Yeah. What other reasons would it be difficult for Patrice to have a butt crack zit?
A real compact stool. James, enough. You keep bringing me down with you to depravity, but what I'm going to do...
I'm bringing you down to depravity.
James, don't tarnish my friend Patrice's
name. All right, I apologize. I apologize.
If any of your viewers / listeners want to give to his memorial fund, it's just go to google.com/buttzit. Now, James.
That's quite a URL.
Well, yeah. So anyway, James, I can't stay too long. I have to do the eulogy at Patrice's funeral. And
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, well, let's look. I think that if we're gonna honor this person's memory, like, what are some of your favorite memories of this Patrice Goudreau?
Patrice Gourdeau.
Yeah, tell us a little. I think we're never gonna have the opportunity to have Patrice on this show, so tell us a little bit about Patrice.
Oh God, beautiful. Really, just a presence. Really, just someone who took life and really grabbed life and made it his own.
What would you say some of Patrice's best qualities were?
His resilience.
Resilience? Okay.
I think until the very, sorry, I'm getting emotional.
That's okay. Look, this is a place where we can shed a tear or two.
Oh yeah, I know. I've watched the show before, James.
Okay, well, look, I want to see, can we paint, I'm sure I don't want to ask you to pull out a picture of Patrice because I feel like it would probably be a lot to take in. Can you describe what Patrice Goudreau looks like?
He's about 6'1", hair, blonde, red, depending on the season.
Is it curly or straight?
Curly. Eyes blue, passionate about marine biology. There are a lot of much like Shrek or an onion. There are a lot of layers to Patrice.
Yeah.
There were. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't think I would get this raw and emotional.
Well, can I ask, look, because sometimes we like to use some cutting edge stuff here. It's not like a Dateline NBC or 60 Minutes. Can you tell us what happened to Patrice? Why is he no longer with us?
James, I told you, I didn't want to be insensitive about his condition, but he got a butt sit and it killed him.
Okay, well, this is very interesting because coming in from the chat right now. Now, I don't know if there's any correlation here. Yeah. This is from our pal Naive Adventures. They say, quote, I know someone who had an ingrown hair above the butt crack. It was so bad, they had to go to the ER and they performed an urgent procedure because it got really badly infected.
See, okay. Thank you, Naive Adventures. That person is brave, okay? Because what people don't understand is that there's a lot of stigma associated with any pus-related endeavors around the anus.
Hey, look, I know, look at that right there. I'm getting over it.
It's not in your ass, James.
Right. You're right.
You can walk willy-nilly into any ER, emergency care, anything, and just say, hey, I've got a huge zit on my face. And they will perform life-saving surgery on you immediately.
So you're saying that I've got some form of zit privilege?
Yes. Whereas underserved members of the community, AKA people whose zits are in their butt cracks, don't have access to that sort of life-saving care. And I know you're crying right now, but I am please asking you to contain your emotions and keep it together because this is a memorial for Patrice and you're making it all about you.
Now,
your goddamn forehead.
Okay, so you talked about some members of the community, or we're talking about a zit butt crack community?
The BZC.
Right.
Butt zit community.
Right. Okay, well, this is the thing, Pat. I wasn't aware that there was this type of community. So this really, it exposes my ignorance.
It does. Again, I'm coming on this show for you to confront your prejudice, your ignorance.
Now, there's no prejudice.
The lack of inclusivity. Who on this show has had a zit on the butt? Certainly not me.
Look, okay, so here's the thing. I've never asked anyone about the condition of their zit.
That is exactly what I'm saying. You never ask.
But wouldn't it? Okay, but look, Pat, this is the thing. I think that there's an open dialogue between us, so I think we can exchange some opinions freely. And it's okay to get emotional, but wouldn't it be, you could argue that it's a little intrusive to ask people about that stuff. It's quite personal, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes an intrusive question can save a life.
Okay, well, fair enough. So,
Patrice, you can't. He's dead.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'd like to imagine that me bringing up my pimple has opened the dialogue, so maybe more people like Patrice or anyone else who may have suffered with this would feel maybe empowered to come forward.
May. Okay, now we're just belittling people who have died fighting the good fight. Wow.
Look, I don't think we're belittling people because I think that in some instances, some people might be interested in keeping that thing secret Is that fair to say?
The secret is what killed him.
Right.
The lack of access, the lack of acceptance, the fact, I'm so angry right now. I'm so angry. This is history being repeated time and time again. You know who else died of a Brexit? Cleopatra.
Okay, so I wasn't aware of that. You're bringing awareness to a very serious condition.
Yes.
Okay, well, Pat, look, what about this? Obviously, we're kind of on seemingly on two different sides. I think we're probably closer to the same side than not. So this is what I want to propose. Okay. What if maybe when the weather starts to get a little bit nicer, you and I collaborate and we do it on behalf of the show? We maybe put together like a fun run and start to, to build awareness.
Are you suggesting that we do a fundraiser?
Yeah, like a fundraiser, maybe like a 5-kilometer walk, something like that.
I probably not a walk or a run because people with
right
are unable to.
Right. It's uncomfortable for them.
Believe me, believe Patrice. It's quite painful.
Yeah.
When you're in the throes of it. I am, however, open to us performing a duo, a song. I can be the left butt cheek, you can be the right.
Okay, so this is now spawned from a fun run to a benefit concert, kind of like Farm Aid or Live Aid, things like that.
Again, you made the narrative your own. You suggested a fun run without asking me.
Well, it wasn't. It was just a suggestion. It was open for workshopping here.
Okay. Calm down.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Don't get all up in my zitness. That's something
look. If it means anything, your skin looks smooth and untethered. It looks
like a baby's butt. Like a baby's butt. My skin.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Look, this is what I hope. Is that I hope this conversation has opened up the conversation, right? Because I think that all it takes is. Yeah, it's opened up the conversation like two butt cheeks opening to give maybe a painful zit some air and some relief.
Okay. Well, I actually came on here to do a tarot reading. But
I think there's still a bit of time.
Is there time?
Of course.
Okay. Close your eyes. Open them. When I touch a card, I touch a card, just say stop. Not now, not. Okay, close your eyes before you say stop.
Stop.
Okay. I didn't tell you to open your eye.
You're right. I'm sorry. Now, as we get through this, Pat, for the uneducated, what is a tarot card reading?
That is when it's a game where you have you can only put up to 4 piles of cards going up to 12, and you also have to discard at every turn. Now these James. Okay, now I will show the audience.
Well, I wasn't aware that there were that many piles of cards in a tarot card reading. This sounds more like a game.
James, pick a number between 1 and 4.
3.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Okay, so my tarot card reading is the number 11.
Yeah.
There's 3 11s, and that seems to be, isn't there kind of a good luck thing when the clock strikes 11:11?
And see, everything isn't everything. Look. This is the left butt cheek. This is the right butt cheek, and this right there.
Oh no!
It's the zit.
It's the zit right in the middle. So you're saying that my future includes a in between the butt cheeks zit?
Fight the real evil.
All right. Well, Pat, that seems like as good of a time as any to thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. Rest in peace, Patrice.
Yeah, Patrice Gourdeau it was, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Please buy the Elton John actually released a benefit single for it. It's called Candle of the Butthole, and it will be released on all streaming platforms relatively shortly.
All right. So hopefully we can get him to perform that at our benefit concert once the weather gets a little nicer, right, Pat?
Yeah, I hope so.
Pat, thanks so much for being here. Let's get you back here sooner than later, okay?
Okay.
All right, that's Pat Gourdeau. Thank you so much, Pat. I tell you what, We didn't plan it. We did not plan it. And look, I'm not trying to offend anyone who's had a butt cheek zit, whether it's Patrice Gourdeau or otherwise. Let's welcome our next guest to the show. You want to talk about icons of the at-home universe. You can't say icons on At Home without Alex Brown. Let's welcome Alex to the show.
Hello.
Alex, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much for having me on the program.
Now, hold on a minute. You look different from when we were in our production call. Now,
Yes.
Earlier on, your hair was down. Confirm or deny?
I can confirm.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you put a little bit of lipstick on as well?
So I have a little bit of a hack, as a person who works from home.
Mm-hmm.
I should introduce you to the Zoom Beta Studio Effects.
Oh, so you're using one of the lipstick filters?
Yes, I am. Yes,
All right.
I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to say it fooled me. You got me.
It's pretty good. Look, it's
Yeah.
in beta, but I think they need to move it to alpha or whatever.
I'll tell you what, it might be in beta right now, but you look like an alpha on this program, Alex. I feel like
thank
you come to us from different angles and rooms every time you're on this little bitty
It's
show.
true. I like to keep it fresh,
Yeah.
I like to mix it up for you and, for the audience. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Alex, the first time you've been here in 2022. How has your New
That is
Year's
true.
been thus far? Is that a silly question to ask?
No, it's fine. I mean, I was home by 10,
Mhm.
because Daddy Legault said that we had to be.
Mhm.
So that was okay, And then
Well, it's over now. The curfew's over tonight.
Tonight, I know. I got a text from my dad and he was like, "You should go out in the snow."
Mhm.
Like to celebrate.
Yeah, well,
So I
in
was like, "All right."
in the Twitch chat part of the show, our production assistant Devin said, "Is anyone celebrating the end of curfew by going out tonight to make some snow angels?"
I mean, look.
He also asked if anyone was going to have a nice snow brew, which is a beer outside.
I would imagine that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's funny? Yeah, I haven't haven't had any alcohol in 2022.
Now, is this
So
a thing
far.
that people are talking about? Dry January? Is this the alcohol version of the no nut November?
I guess so. I'm not really. It hasn't really. It's been sort of like oh, I just didn't. I don't know. I'm not seeing people. So
Yeah.
.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, sure.
Alex, now I've never been drunk in my life.
No, I
right?
know that. We've talked
Would
about
you
that.
consider yourself a drunkard?
Yeah, I think, to some degree.
Okay.
I think.
No-
Yeah,
okay.
I've had some moments in the past.
Okay. So let's examine this. Let's say, what month would you say you do the most drinking?
Oh, I mean, honestly, like
You
I
can
gotta
be
say like
honest.
September.
Okay, September. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the month of September,
Mhm.
how many days would you say you spend drunk?
Oh, like fully drunk? I mean,
if you had to estimate in the month of September, how many days do you spend drunk? We got 30 days in September.
How many of those days end in Y?
You're telling me you're wasted for 30 straight days?
Oh, hell yeah. September it's a hard month.
Okay, but then we're talking, you're not drunk every day. This is crazy talk, right?
No, I'm not drunk every day.
Okay.
No.
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess,
30 days.
are you talking like on average in my whole like adult /
I'm just saying, let's
drinking
just
career?
say if you had to guess, like I think, at my most in a September, I've been drunk 15 days.
Yeah, like that's a good number. Well,
Okay.
no, come on. That's I'm thinking
Well, okay,
about like
so let's
weekends.
think about this. What days are you most likely to get drunk?
Well, I mean, and we're talking about, in the past, because
Mhm.
lately I've been a lot better.
See, now that's a warning sign. If you're saying you've been a lot better.
Well, yeah, it's literally.
All right, okay.
I mean, I don't know, probably like the weekends. So like Friday, Saturday.
Okay,
And
so
then sometimes that bleeds
Friday.
into Thursday.
Okay, so we're saying Friday and Saturday.
Would be the most common.
Okay, so we're looking at
Okay.
roughly 8 days of being drunk in the month of September. Roughly.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
we're basing it off of 2021.
Well, no, 2021. I mean, look, that's not, the pandemic isn't real. I
Okay.
mean, that's not what I'm trying.
So you're saying you can't base it on pandemic era metrics.
No, absolutely not. Because like, where are you going to go? What are you going
Look,
to do?
this is hard hitting now. You wanted to talk about soup. We're talking about a different kind of soup.
Yeah, I was
right? It's
trying to talk about soup
It's a
here.
different type of brew.
I mean,
Now-
look, yes, it is.
Now, did you intend on staying sober in January, or
No.
is it something that began happening? You're like, hey,
Exactly. Just like, all right, look, I've also been reading a book. It's called Quit Like a Woman.
okay, well, tell us about this book.
First heard about it on the new reboot of Sex and the City. They have written in one of the characters has a drinking problem, and she drunkenly orders this book on Amazon, and she thinks that it's her friend who ordered it for her, and she's all mad. And then she realized, like, oh no, I drunkenly ordered this. And then she starts reading it, and then I was like, oh, like maybe. And I didn't have any intention, when I borrowed this on my e-reader from the public library. I just thought, like, I'll check it out, but it's got some good ideas. So
Okay. And this is this specifically about quitting drinking or any maybe possible bad habit?
No, it's specifically geared. It's the journey of a woman from, problematic drinking to, being a non.
And now it's speaking to you. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, whether it's wonderful or not, I don't know. But
well, hold on. Now you decided to forego drinking. Have you decided to add something new in its place? Crack?
No, I don't think so. Like I mean, I'm open to ideas. Soup. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also discussed winter meals, right? Now I'm not going to sit here and deprive you of this segment pitch.
Thank
you. I think
you.
it's important. Look, we got real in the previous segment.
We did.
I know that I'm going to get real with Dusty Ray Jr.
Well,
so we're getting real here. Alex, I'll tell you what, before we get in, I think if you want to do it, it's a great idea.
Well, thank you.
I'll tell you what, if you want to have a sober friend, look no further.
I know you're a true inspiration.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, look, maybe not, because you never drank. So it's,
Well, I've tasted alcohol.
Oh, what'd you have?
I can list everything that I've tasted right now.
Okay, go.
I had a sip of beer that I spat out.
Because you
had a
hated
sip.
it?
It tasted like toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I had a sip of Smirnoff Ice.
Did you spit that out?
I swallowed that.
Okay.
That tasted better than the beer. It tasted better than the beer.
Was it cold? Because sometimes those are.
I don't recall if it was cold. I had a sip of a wine cooler, a fruit punch wine cooler.
Okay.
That was fine.
Yeah, it's like juice.
And some type of peach, like sparkling wine.
Oh yeah, that sounds gross. But
that one not bad either.
Oh really? Well, that's it's juice.
I think if I drank, you'd see me drinking like margaritas, like all these fun and like slush like drinks.
Oh yeah, those are kind of fun. You don't see those too often.
It's not gonna happen. That's why you and me, we're gonna be sober pals.
Sober as the day, or whatever they say.
Okay, so we've done the hard hitting stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you want to talk about winter meals, right? Give me your top 3 winter meals.
Gosh. For someone who came on the show with something, I didn't prepare anything. So
this is what makes it good, though. You got to think from the top of mind awareness. A winter meal.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I just went home to my parents in Nova Scotia.
Oh, you have some hot dog soup?
Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't have any hot dog soup this time. But my mom makes seafood chowder.
Okay.
Which I'm a big fan of, because she collects the fish throughout the year, and kind of puts it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then so she has all different kinds of
makes
fish.
A big year-end medley of collective flavors.
Yeah, pretty much. And she just puts it in a big pot full of milk.
So that's in your top 3. What else?
I love mac and cheese. These are going to be really probably.
I don't know if that's just winter. That's a real summer dish too.
It's true.
People love a mac and cheese, but this is your list, not mine.
But I think here's the thing. I think what makes it a winter meal is when it's it makes it a summer meal when it's a side dish to something else. So it's accompanying a barbecue vibe, or but then when it's the main thing, I think that's when it's it's a cozy,
All right.
treat yourself comfort food.
So you're saying a seafood chowder and a macaroni cheese.
A macaroni cheese. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. What else?
And then, I mean, gosh, I feel like chili is sort of the classic, but again, I also agree. I think, well, you haven't said it yet, but I'm assuming you're going to say it's a year-round thing.
Why would you assume that of me?
I don't know, because I feel like we've talked about it before.
Look, I would say that I think that chili is more of a fall dish, but it's certainly applicable to the winter. I would never be so bold to say that no one's making it in the winter.
Well, no, and I think people are. Actually, okay, wow, strike that from the list. A pot of beans. Just a good old pot of beans. Like what?
You're a hobo under a bridge riding the rails eating pots of beans?
No. We're talking like you soak them the night before. They're like white beans, and then you're doing like olive oil, lemon, fresh herbs, and you just like let them go until they're really nice and creamy. And then you're doing like breadcrumbs and like a homemade aioli.
You're turning this into a soup.
It's not a soup. No, because it's not
you're making some bean stew.
No, maybe if you're at
you do your groceries in a bindle. Going down to the grocers market, carrying.
Yeah, when I get my $2 alcohol.
Yeah, waiting for the bus, playing a harmonica.
When I get my cold in line.
I can't believe you took chili off the list for beans.
I didn't take it off the list.
You said strike it.
Okay, that's right. I meant to say take macaroni and cheese off the list.
Okay, now let me throw some others at you. What about stew?
Well, I don't make stew. Like I've never made it, but I really love when other people make stew. So
I love a stew. I love
a stew, like a classic stew. Potato. We're getting something from the tech here. He's being a dickhead. I don't know.
Yeah.
he's thumbs downing the stew.
We're talking beef cubes, carrots.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Little potatoes.
Celery, some onion.
Well, I don't know about celery.
Oh, you got to put a celery in a stew.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Now, what about this one? What about a shepherd's pie? Is that a winter meal?
Honestly, on the list. It was on the list.
Yeah, a shepherd's pie.
And I really like making shepherd's pie because that is like if you make usually if I make like mashed potatoes for like, Thanksgiving or something, then the next day is like when you do the shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Because you get the leftovers.
See, we're on the same page here. I think we're more aligned than not counting your pot of beans.
Look, dude, do you like beans? Like, what do you have against beans?
Yeah, I like
beautiful. They're a musical fruit.
I like beans with things, but I don't want beans as the main dish.
Okay, well, you've never had these beans. So
are you inviting me for a sober bean dinner?
Sober bean meal.
Now, this is the thing. Nobody invites me over for dinner. I who invited me over for Thanksgiving dinner was Saima Ahmed, friend of the show, and Pat Gourdeau was here earlier.
Well, I got a little bit of an issue with that whole event, but that's okay.
Well, hold on. You're denouncing Canadian Thanksgiving?
No, I'm denouncing that specific celebration of Canadian Thanksgiving.
Okay, look, let's talk about this. Why are you denouncing it?
Well, I wasn't invited, and those two are quite good friends. And we're all good friends, I'd say like you and I are pretty good friends.
Okay, yeah, but let's, we can put the cards on the table. In terms of Saima and Pat's hierarchy, you rank much higher than I do.
Well, come on.
I'm the one who said it. I put it on the table. You rank higher than me.
You're my new sober buddy.
Yeah. So it is interesting that I somehow got an invitation to eat dinner with them over you.
Yeah, I was told specifically I was not included in the event.
Now I recall asking you, saying, "Hey, are you also coming?"
And I said, "No."
You were not invited. You got bumped.
I did. I got bumped.
I bumped you from Thanksgiving dinner with your close friends.
Well, and I think I got bumped from the earlier in the day activities too.
See, I wasn't even invited to the earlier in the day.
No, but this was like separate plans, and I was told, wow. I can't because.
So maybe we need to bring all of these people on the show. Yourself, we have to get Pat back and Saima.
I think so. Yeah,
we got to talk this through right now. Yeah. Alex, are you one to carry resent? You be honest with me.
I mean, I'm a Taurus. So I've been told that has significance in terms of like being stubborn and yeah, I mean, I would say probably, you know, a little hurt.
Yeah, okay. So let's face it, you were bothered that I was invited to the dinner over you.
No, I thought we could all do it,
Yeah. And I would have been happy with that too. I would have had no
Yeah,
issue with
totally.
it, right?
It's nothing against you. It's not like I was like, oh,
Yeah. But
I just
but
wanted
okay.
to have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, okay. You're holding on to it though.
Well,
We got to talk it
let's just
out. We have to
say-
talk it out. And I think that
Yeah.
it's only fair that I be the arbiter, the moderator
Yeah.
of this to really figure out, what the issue is. And if there is an issue, then we're going to get a tissue.
And you're gonna help me through my sobriety too.
Exactly. Yeah. The way that we're going to get you through your sobriety is you're going to make me a bean dinner.
Let's please call it a bean dinner.
And I'm going to bring a dessert just like I did to the Sima and Pat Thanksgiving.
What did you bring?
I brought a cherry pie that for
you
some
bought
unforeseen reason I carried in my bag sideways. And then when I opened it up, all of the cherry filling had spilled out into my bag.
Oh no, that's like pie 101 that you don't.
Yeah, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know.
Your messenger bag?
It was in my messenger bag, my legendary messenger bag that I've had for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who knows me know, and that's what means that you and I are TFs,
we go back.
friends.
Yep.
You know that I carry a messenger bag.
I do. I know that. Yeah.
Well, Alex, how do you feel about how this segment's unfolded tonight?
I mean, look, I don't get this into, issues at therapy. So,
yeah,
maybe I got a new therapist in you.
I think that in another lifetime, I think I could have genuinely been a pretty good therapist.
I think so. Yeah, because you got your thing would be like the Coca-Cola decorations, and they come in. This would be like your office.
Wait, I bring people to my home as my office?
No, I'm like transporting it to as if you had an office.
Mm-hmm.
You would decorate it the same.
Okay, so, yeah, I'd be like, but I like to tackle the issues. There's no BS around these parts.
Yeah, you just want to say okay, what is this?
Now, Alex, before we let you go, we're gonna wrap things up. We were talking about this off air. What's your true opinion on phone sex? Specifically, 1-800 numbers.
I love them. I think they're great.
You ever call one as a youngster? You and your friends are having a sleepover, and it's like, are you a single looking at party?
Well, oh my God, no. But actually, though, except it was like a payphone downtown, in Toronto.
You're the only one.
Literally the only one on Prince Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Speaker's Corner. Yeah. So we called. And it was like, oh, do you like white panties?
Mm-hmm. And you answered?
I think we hung up at that point. It was like, whoa.
It made you too nervous, right?
Over. What's that?
How old are you?
8. It was like, oh, we're 2. This is not.
This segment has now become problematic.
Well, look, I didn't know they were going to talk about that. So yeah, I'll be back for some more therapy, I guess.
All right. So what we're gonna organize is bean dinner.
Bean dinner. Yeah.
It sounds awful.
It's good. Look, I will prove you wrong.
All right. So it's on the schedule. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take pictures of this and we're gonna have a recap of it on the show at some point.
That sounds great. Yep.
Alex, I love
my roommate will be here.
I love it. You were supposed to be here last week. Your power went out, and then you're a woman of your word, and you came back.
I'm back, better than ever.
Alex, from one alpha to another. I thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, James.
It's Alex Brown coming to us from downtown. You didn't see it, but she was wearing leather pants. Now, coming in from the chat right now, got Thomas Barnwell. He's saying, quote, I know that he doesn't often accept invitations to Thanksgiving dinner. Let's call it as it is. I've never gone to Thomas Barnwell's house for Thanksgiving dinner. He's invited me. Maybe this is the year that we change it all. Maybe I need to be seduced to get to the Barnwell Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe, Thomas, put the cards on the table. You're going to make the turkey. You're going to make the sweet potatoes. You're going to make the mashed potatoes. You're going to make the Brussels sprouts. You're going to make the turnips. You're going to make the parsnips. Gonna make the pumpkin pie for dessert. Maybe you got to find a way to woo me all the way over to Montreal West. That's right. I'm gonna out your neighborhood. I outed it live on the air. Speaking of what's gonna happen on the air this coming Wednesday, who's gonna be here? Andy Asaf, the one and only. But before we do that, we're gonna bring things down a couple notches here. As I mentioned, if you're just tuning in right now, earlier on in 2021, we welcomed country music star Dusty Ray Jr. to the show. Now, if you were watching our New Year's Eve episode, we had an in memoriam. You found out, same time as everyone else did, that Dusty Ray Jr. passed away after his appearance on this show. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to welcome the person following in his footsteps. He has taken over his father's band, Trailer Park Blues. Please welcome to the program, Dusty Ray Jr.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Dusty Ray Jr.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's so nice to have you on the show, and my condolences from the entire at-home program.
Hey, thank you. You know, it was what a hell of a guy, my father, and you know, he led this band, and we're all sad to see him go. It was a tragedy.
Yeah, well, you've got a photo right now behind you. This is a tribute photo.
Yeah, so this is a commemorative photo of my father, actually, when he was on your show last time. Behind me, excuse me. Which way should I go? Which way should I go?
Right there is perfect. Yeah, if you say right there.
This way? Nope.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you point, yeah, right there, we're looking at your dad, Dusty Ray Jr.
Yeah, that's my dad. That's Papa.
You get your two uncles there as well.
Got Dusty Ray Jr. I got beside him, I got Billy Ray Jr.
Yep, and then of course there's Sugar Ray.
And
Jr.
then Sugar Ray Jr. And of course, not featured in the photo is our other brother who sometimes fills in for Sugar. That's Jimmy Ray Jr.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's so brave of you to come on the show. What's it been like adjusting to life without your dad?
You know, it's been tough, James. I don't know if you know what it's like to not have a father around, but it can be quite difficult. No one to go to for advice. You know, I'm trying to launch my own music career.
Yeah, I've come to understand that. That's an exciting way to live up to your father's memory.
And normally I go to my daddy and I'm like, Daddy, what should I do? Let me follow in your footsteps. Let me walk a mile in your shoes. But now there's no one there. There's only my uncles.
Well, of course, and we're going to get into that. I wanted to ask, and if this is a difficult subject to talk about, don't be shy to let us know. Drugs played a part in your father's passing, and that's very unfortunate.
Yep. You want me to go into the gruesome details of my father's death?
No, I'm not looking for any gruesome details. It's mostly just if there's something you wanted to say to people that might be, you know, as influenced by marijuana as your dad was.
Well, you know, November was, of course, a no-nut November. And in order to compensate for the lack of nut in my poppy, took to marijuana and smoked many a cigarette of marijuana over and over again until he OD'd.
Well, yeah, when he came on this show, you know, he brought his new music video, Food Looks Better, and at the time he was under the influence, and there was some concern there, and we let his management team know. So again, just I think if there's one silver lining that we can use this for, it's that people can watch this and maybe confront their own issues, or maybe issues that people they know or love are having.
Sure, yeah, why not? Oh, excuse me, this is his hat.
Now this is an important piece of family history. This is your dad, Dusty Ray Jr.'s hat.
It's my dad's Dusty Ray Jr.'s hat, and I took it off his corpse. I placed it on my head, and I'm continuing the legacy of his legend.
All right, the legacy of a legend. Now that's why you're here tonight. We're going to talk about your burgeoning music career. You've stepped in your father's place as the lead singer and the lead frontman of Trailer Park Blues. Now, this is something we've seen throughout the history of music, people stepping in for their departed parents, and you're following in those footsteps as well.
Yeah, no, long line of rockers and musicians who filled in for their daddies. Mm-hmm. Freddie Mercury, of course, died and gave the position of Queen to his son Adam Lambert. And, you know, there's many other such examples.
All right, so what's it been like stepping in for your dad? There must be a lot of pressure there, the same type of pressure that I'm sure Adam Lambert has for standing in for his dad, Freddie. Mm-hmm.
It's been all right. You know, I'm never going to fully replace my father, but I do think that I can, we have similar body types, similar.
Yeah, the resemblance is impeccable. Could you just maybe move, I want to say to your right.
This way?
Yes, right there. Now it's really uncanny. The only difference is that he wore a t-shirt and you wore a long sleeve shirt.
No, that's not the only difference, James.
Oh?
You got to look at it like, you know those in the newspaper, you got those compare two images and you got to pick out the differences?
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of like what's going on right here. So look,
Wait, there's more differences?
Yeah, he has a full goatee, and I kind of just have
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
a
you've got-
mustache, a
you got
flavor
mustache
saver, and a little stubble.
Wait, what did you just call that?
A mustache, a
Yep.
flavor saver, and a little
Flavor saver?
A little, yeah, it saves the flavor for later.
Flavor of what?
Whatever.
All right.
You eat a sandwich, you get a little dribbles in there. Later on,
Sure.
you go. You collect the rest of your sandwich.
All right. So it is a true flavor saver.
Or if you're having a bean soup.
Oh, wait, yeah, a nice bean soup, sure.
Yeah, you ever had a bean soup?
There's a difference between a bean soup and a bean dinner.
It's the same thing.
All right.
Sometimes you
Okay,
try to
so-
make a bean dinner and it turns into a soup based on how you prepare
Yeah,
it.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Now, Dusty Ray Jr., I know that you're going to be doing a lot of your dad's songs. Is that true?
That's true. That's true. I was gonna hopefully play one of my daddy's songs in commemoration of him, and then
Yeah.
we can.
Well, yeah, this is what I understand is that you've re-recorded some of his songs in his memory, and I think that's a really great idea.
Well, why don't I pop on one of his songs right now?
All right, so which song are we going to be hearing tonight?
This is
from
one
his
of
catalog?
one of my daddy's bests. One of
He's got a big catalog.
the audience favorites. This is "Food Looks Better."
All right, so when he was on the show last time, he brought Food Looks Better.
Well, everybody likes "Food Looks Better" because everybody likes food. Bean
Sure,
soup.
yeah, well, yeah, especially if you get into your flavor
Yeah,
saver.
exactly. Hold
I
on.
kind of have one myself a little bit.
Let me take a look at that. Hey, give it a taste.
I don't want to.
Give it a taste. There's probably some flavor in there.
All right.
What does it taste like?
You know, I had a submarine sandwich earlier. It
Yeah,
does taste like sub.
Collect the rest of the sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna hear "Food Looks Better" from your dad and Trailer Park Blues, the band that he fronted.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All
A
right.
1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. So this is the beginning of the song.
Yeah, thank you.
Hold on, I'm just going to adjust some levels over here. And this is when my daddy would really get into it. This, of course, isn't my version, but it's my daddy's version.
All right.
R.I.P.
Just listen to it.
I'm just trying to tell what the song is
Sure,
before we
sure.
get.
I think you want to hear the song.
All right. The steak looks better on the other guy's plate. This guy back here, he's saying that.
Oh,
Rest in
great, yeah.
peace, Daddy.
Now, are you going to be playing guitar?
Yeah, I play guitar. Yeah. Yeah, I like to play a Stratocaster Fender guitar, and it's pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here we go. Next verse.
That's next verse, yeah. Round. This part's really good.
What, you mean the chorus?
Who looks better on another guy's plate? Meet you down at Hooters at 7:45.
You don't have to repeat the lyrics.
Hooters.
All right, so that was "Food Looks Better," courtesy of your dad, Dusty Ray Jr., when he was the front man of Trailer Park Blues. Again, it's a very, very catchy song.
Well, thank you. I appreciate. I mean, I'm sure he'd appreciate that, but I would appreciate you saying that about my daddy.
Now, what went into, because of course we mentioned it, you re-recorded that song. How did you go about differentiating it so you could make it your own while still paying tribute to your dad's version?
Well, my dad and I were different people, so naturally, when you express an art, music through a different body. It comes out a little different, and you know, I have my own life that I've lived, and my experiences that I've lived, and the food that I've eaten on the people, the other gals' plate.
Okay, so you're saying there's going to be a natural differentiation that the listener is going to be able to find.
So just like a newspaper, you know, keep an eye out for those kind of differences, and you can point them out at the end.
All right, now before we listen in on your version of Food Looks Better, would you like to let people know when the album's coming out?
The album's dropping tonight, midnight.
Tonight at midnight, so people can find it wherever they get music: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon.
Yeah, that's the announcement right now. It's sort of like Beyonce. We dropped the album last minute so people can go buy it.
All right, so you heard it here first, folks. It's just like Beyonce.
Yeah, and this is...
Okay, so we're about to hear your version,
absolutely.
Dusty Ray Jr.'s take on Food Looks Better.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
You'll notice I did things a little bit different, but it starts off a little bit like this. And then, you know... yeah, this part's good. So of course I'm singing on this version and not Dusty. Dusty, of course I am Dusty. I'm Dusty.
I'm trying to listen to this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Steak.
Food looks better on the other guy's plate.
Now, of course, this isn't Dusty Ray Jr. singing the song. It's Dusty Ray Jr. Jr. myself.
Yeah, I know. We announced that before.
Okay. Guitar.
So far, it sounds a lot like the dad's version.
So far, yeah, but there's going to be some key differences coming up.
Okay.
Of course, the voice is different.
Yeah.
And I'm playing that Telecaster guitar. You can hear it. And that's it's Billy Ray on the...
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who went out of town. He asked me to help him 'cause he wasn't around. I went to see his sweetheart, see if she was alright. Soon I was turning out his bedroom light. Listen to me, baby, gonna give it to you straight.
Food looks better on another guy's plate. Meet you at Hooters.
Yeah, we heard it in the lyrics.
Other guy's plate.
All right, so that was Dusty Ray Jr. Jr.'s take on his father, Dusty Ray Jr.'s song, Food Looks Better. Now, I am having a really hard time differentiating your version and your dad's version. So would you be able to maybe explain some of the differences between your recording and his recording?
Well, you know, if you're are you a musician, James?
No, I'm not.
Well, yeah, sometimes, you know, it's hard to describe things in musical terms to a non-musician, but there's all sorts of stuff going on that's different, you know, cadence.
Well, take us through it.
Well, the tremolo and the cadence and some of the downbeats on the quarter tune notes are slightly different that we tweaked. We got all sorts of stuff going on. There's an arpeggio in there that's different. And
now, what about the vocals? Now, you really sound like your dad, and I think that the audience...
Well, it's kind of different.
What were some of the differences?
He's got sort of a lower timbre than I do. He sounds... I can do a pretty good impression of him. So he sounds a little bit like this. And I sound a little bit like this.
Give that to me one more time.
He sounds a little bit like this. And I sound a little bit like this.
Okay, so I guess you have to be a musician to see the differences and hear the... I don't
well,
hear it.
Maybe if you're an impressionist to hear the difference between our voices.
So either a musician or an impressionist can hear the differences?
Like, what's that comedian's name?
Carrot Top?
No, he's not an impressionist. There's a guy, he does John Madden.
Oh, I think you're talking about Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo. I met him once, and he's like, you don't sound anything like your father.
So he doesn't think you sound like your dad.
No, but he knows the intricacies of a man's voice. Frank Caliendo.
Now, Coming in from the chat right now. Now, I don't know how we're going to take this. This comes from Abel Abe. Quote, the second version is definitely more excruciating than the original. That probably means like it rocks in such an excruciating way.
No, I think he's saying I think he's saying that my version's worse. And you know, I gotta say, I'm trying to fill my daddy's footsteps, and you know it's tough.
That's the thing that we have to be mindful of, right? When we're listening to covers, especially some that are so close to your heart, we have to respect the original while leaving room open for the new adaptations of it.
You know, is Adam Lambert's "Somebody to Love" as good as Freddie Mercury's?
His father.
His father, yeah.
Well, before we let you go, Dusty Ray Jr., I want to ask you something. I don't know if you heard in our first segment, we're going to be putting together a concert for awareness as it pertains to buttocks acne. You think you and the boys from Trailer Park Blues would be interested in a gig?
Absolutely. You know, I got just the song for that gig, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's something pertinent to that world that you think is really going to rock the socks off the people that are going to be there?
Yeah, well, you know, the butt is part of the digestive system, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That starts off with food, and I got this song, Food Looks Better, on the other guy's plate. I'd love to play it.
Okay, so you're saying that you're going to be playing Food Looks Better at the concert if it happens to happen?
If it happens to happen, yeah.
Well, Dusty Ray, look, I want to thank you so much for being here. I love your dad's version. I love your version.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see it live. And I just want to send, again, my condolences for your loss. And I think that you're doing a great thing by really carrying on your dad's legacy.
I appreciate that. And I know that my daddy would be very happy that you had me on the show. This was his favorite show.
This was his favorite show?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's makes me happy.
You know, this picture, he said, that was my favorite performance of all time.
Wow. Well, that means a lot.
Yeah. So thank you, James McGee.
Well, Dusty Ray Jr., I want you to have yourself a good night and stay safe, and hopefully you don't go down the same pathways as so many, including your father, had before.
I appreciate that. I'm going to go puff on a joint, but just one.
Well, all right. Anything in moderation, right?
Anything in moderation. Anything.
All right. Well, that's Dusty Ray Jr. What a night it's been. It's been real. It's been funny. It's been loose. It's been easy. We end things with a really, I think, motivational way to look at life, seeing someone carry on their father's legacy. And I have to say, I think that song is pretty catchy. Why have a burger when you can have a steak? Food looks better on the other guys. I'm going to be singing that song all night long. Folks, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. Of course, so much appreciation to Pat Gourdeau, Alex Brown, and Dusty Ray Jr. We're going to be back this Wednesday and, of course, on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why don't we bring those numbers up a notch, huh? Tell everyone to tune in. Your mom, dad, auntie, unkie, brother, sister, Grammy, Grampy. Tell your best friend, maybe even your very worst enemy. Twitch.tv/@homewithjames. Until then, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and be well.
Saturday night, the setting romantic and the feeling just right. A nice Bordeaux and a Chateaubriand, but you find yourself eyeing up a leggy blonde. Why have a burger when you can have steak? Food looks better on the other guy's plate.